say you love me, but I don't think that it's true. It's all for
Good morning and welcome back to Vanguardian News. I'm your host, Mahfouz Al-Qadir, and once again we have the nonsense early. Joe Biden couldn't even get down the steps to re-enter the Capitol building after his speech and ceremony, the inauguration ceremonies, before the right, the radical right, like Tucker Carlson and Jason Whitlock, take one little specific thing of that speech that he said about, I'm going to be the president for all Americans. And then in his speech, Joe Biden also said that, paraphrasing, that he's going to root out this white supremacy. So Carolson, that's all he needed to chew on. And he basically went on his show and basically took that little part of it and said that, well, if you're going to be the president of all Americans and you're mandating a war on white supremacy, who are these white supremacists? Aren't they Americans? I'm basically saying, since you haven't identified what the white supremacists look like and who are they, so how can you be president of all Americans when you haven't identified who the white supremacists are? In a nutshell, that's basically what he was saying. And then he brings out Jason Whitlock. And Jason Whitlock, he was in his lust for the slurpage of Tucker Carlson. He basically said that in that conversation that they had, he referred to Black Lives Matter and Antifa as being the Democratic's KKK arm. He referenced KKK and Black Lives Matter in the same sentence, along with Antifa, as saying this is the same thing the Klan did, basically, and they're just the new Klan, the arm of the Democratic Party. And he went on to say that they were actually atheists as well. So I consider Jason Whitlock a very smart man. I know he said this for a reaction. I get it. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, but that goes to show you about how they formulate one or two sentences and chew on. That's the media. Tucker Carlson is great at that. He's brilliant at that. I give him that. I've been watching him for a long time, and he does a great job at this. This is what he does. He chew on something. He manipulates. He breaks it down. He regurgitates it over and over again for his own medium and his own agenda. And Jason Whitlock is the king of outlandish statements. And like I said, his slurpage, he goes on to say, oh, Carlson, I'm so glad that you went there. And that's when he goes into his Black Lives Matter and Antifa comparison to the KKK, which is outrageous. We all know that. And Jason knows that. It's an outrageous comment. He's a smart guy. But he makes these outrageous statements. And I get it. I get what they're trying to do there. But I just thought it was funny. And me and a couple of friends of mine, we were watching this and we were just kind of like, oh, please, It was a lot of that going on. I was like, oh, this is crazy. And then they had me sucked in for a moment. So I gave them my viewing time for about the half hour or whatever this segment was. But Jason Whitlock is once again in conservative rare form mode, and he's going all out already. The president of the United States, the newly elected president of the United States, Joe Biden, just sworn in, and within a minute or so of him leaving that podium, going down to the Capitol, inside the Capitol, the far right is already on his neck. And this is how it's going to be for the next 4 years. I understand Trump got the same treatment as far as the left, and this is how it is. So he's basically, Jason Whitlock, in his words, is basically saying, if you support Black Lives Matter, if you support the agendas and the ideals of, shooting innocent people, okay? Shooting innocent people, as far as cops, police brutality, is Black Lives Matter's fault because they are the arm, the KKK, basically in the same level of the KKK. I mean, it is absolutely ridiculous. Jason Whitlock should be ashamed of himself. And I'd like to hear more, what he wants, more about what he meant by that, because it just threw me for a loop. I know he gets outrageous, but this is totally outrageous. He should be ashamed of himself. Tucker has got you right where he wanted you. You fell into it. You fell into the trick bag that Tucker wanted you to get in. Now you got to get yourself out. You need to do some explaining, Jason Whitlock. You're a smart brother, dude. You know, you got a lot of ideas. You got a lot of good intentions. But I think your delivery on this one, I don't agree with you. And you should be ashamed of yourself. All right. Thank you for checking in. We'll see you again shortly.